One of the things that I have noticed that I've seen over and over again, it's a consistent pattern. If you have trauma, if you have triggers that need to be healed, there's also a tendency, usually, to have difficulty handling stress. Difficulty handling the overwhelm when stuff starts to feel out of control. Stress is external events plus the way we think about those external events that creates this feeling in us that makes things really hard to handle. So what I want to do today is I want to help you understand stress, how to look at it in a way that will really help you get a handle on it and manage your stress in a way that will make the rest of your life that much more smooth as you're healing and beyond. Stress basically has 5 levels. There are 5 levels of stress. And so I'm going to write them here on the board and explain them to you as we go. So level 1 is a recovery state, but it's a tuned out state, okay? It's not sleep, but level 1 is a recovery state where your muscles are completely relaxed, eyes are usually closed, thoughts are peaceful, thinking all is well. There's no connection to the outside world, the environment around you, but it's not sleep. So what does that mean? Essentially, when I was learning these curriculum decades ago, I saw a video of a bunch of monks sitting around on the floor in a cement surface, and each one of them had a bucket of ice water right next to them. They were meditating, and they weren't, they just had like the little cloth around their sitting area, and they were in meditation, and their eyes were closed, and the assistant pulled like a sheet out of the ice water and wrapped it around them, and within less than a minute you could see steam coming off of the sheets because these monks were so good at staying completely relaxed and staying so tuned into themselves and not tuned into the environment around them that they were able to just dry the towel and not have there was no flinching response at all. So bottom line is, this recovery state is not a state that most of us can do. When we're recovering tuned out, we're asleep. This is not an asleep state. But I'm telling you about this state of stress because if I said there were 4, I'd be lying, because there is this one, which none of us can do. So I'm telling you right now, don't feel like you have to achieve that, because we can't. Most of us can't anyway. That's something that's achieved by people who are in a constant state of studying meditation, not people like you and I who have lives. Okay? So, second level of stress. It's also a recovery state. But it's a tuned in state. So, your eyes are open. You're aware of your environment, but your body feels calm and relaxed. Your thoughts are peaceful. You're not thinking about stresses or to-do lists. You're just really aware that your body is relaxed, you're feeling good and at ease. So, level 2. There are a lot of things that people do in level 2 to get them in to this level 2 tuned in state. That includes things like meditation for normal people. Some people read. Some people listen to music. Some people talk to a friend. For myself, I just love springtime and summer mornings when I'm lying in bed. I don't know if you've experienced this, lying in bed. The sun comes through the windows. The curtains in my bedroom are yellow. So it colors my room with this sunshiny feeling. I'm relaxed. My bed is super comfy. I don't have anywhere to go. My eyes are open. I'm enjoying those first few moments of being awake during the day. Can hear the birds outside and a little bit of traffic. That's a tuned in recovery state where you're kind of just taking a breath, relaxing, enjoying where you are instead of thinking about the next step. This is a really important state to be able to get yourself to on a regular basis, and I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. There's also a list that I'm going to give you, because some people who have the most difficulty managing their stress have very few of these behaviors in their toolbox. So at the end of this training, I'm going to give you a list of things that potentially could take you there. It's going to be different for every person. So that's level 2. We want to do recovery states daily because level 3 is the place to be. So level 3, I'm going to give it more space on this board because level 3 is a problem-solving state, right? So if we just make a line here and we pretend that this list is portioned out by how many hours of a day that we're awake, that we're spending in each one of these states, we want to live most of our time in this problem-solving state. So, when you're in problem-solving state, you have mild tension, right? You're aware that there's a problem, but you have thoughts like, oh, that's okay, I know how to solve it, or I can figure it out. Like you have all, when we're in the triggered state, when we're in fight or flight, we don't have access to IQ because all of the blood that should be in our brain helping us think and problem solve and do the things that we do when they're in this state are in our extremities. It's moving away from our bodies in case in the caveman days we get injured, into our legs and arms to get us ready to fight. Also not in our brain. So we have full access to IQ when we're here. People have asked me if our IQ changes. It doesn't, but depending on where you are in stress, you can have less access to your smarts when you're stressed out, and that's a really important thing to recognize. So here you have mild tension in your body, you're aware of a problem, but you're saying things to yourself like, I got this. Like, your thoughts are, I'll figure it out. Right? Here you have confidence. Your feelings are confident. You're feeling a sense of self-esteem and well-being while you're also aware that there's a problem. We want to live in this place. But unfortunately, most people, you know, when you ask someone, how are you? And they go, I'm fine. But you know, from their facial expression or from their tone of voice or from whatever's just been happening, that they're not fine. They're usually, this is what most of us do, in the next stage saying that they're here. And if you're a person who's lived with trauma, you're a person who has triggers and PTSD symptoms, you likely spend a lot of time in level 4 pretending you're at level 3. Okay? One of the things about level 4 is that you can be in that state telling yourself you're okay, but you're telling yourself you're okay like this, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. And that's not an okay state. You're not relaxed, you're not calm, because there's a sense of panic. So level 4 is a losing control state. Okay, this orange marker doesn't look very good, so I just bought new markers so that I could do this video. Let me try this one. I want you to be able to see them on camera. So level 4, better, is losing control. Okay? So in a losing control state, you're saying to yourself things like, this isn't fair. If you're in a relationship, you're thinking, how can I get away? How can I make this stop? What do I need to do to change the situation? And it's with this state of panic. Also, you have an increasing sense of body tension. This might be the state where you're starting to feel pain, right? Pain and panic. Anxiety happens here. Anger happens in this state. Thoughts like trying to get back. This is those times when you tell yourself that this is those times when you start, like when you're talking to a friend or you've talked to a coworker or you're talking to your partner in a relationship and you start listening to them, but you're creating the argument in your head before anything comes out of your mouth. That's level 4. Okay, so that's level 4, losing control. The last level is level 5. The lights just went out. Turn them back on. Level 5 is out of control. Now there are 2 feelings, there are only 2 feelings in the out of control state. And it's terror and rage. In terror, when you're in the out of control state, you're feeling terror and rage. This is where you do damage. This is damage to yourself, damage to others, damage to property. This is where you say things in relationship that you can't take back because your partner is not going to forget or your child is not going to forget. This is where you do things to harm yourself because maybe there was a pattern of being harmed before, and so you go that place, your brain is in total fight flight. So here you are actually just doing the knee-jerk reaction. You're in complete fight or flight. You have to get away and do something desperate to survive, and that's the stuff that happens here. In losing control stage, I talked here about having full access to IQ. In this state, you're starting to have less access to your IQ. In this state, you're really not using IQ at all. You're actually full-on fight, flight. Okay, so those are the 5 levels. There are a couple of things that you can do that take you to a level 4 that are good for you. 2 of them. One of them is exercise, and the other is orgasm, right? So these 2 things, you don't want to be in an out of control state and then jump into sex with your partner because it's usually not going to be good sex when that happens. But when you are in a good relaxed state, either in a recovery state or in a problem-solving state, and then you engage with your partner in sexual activity and it takes you to orgasm, orgasm is an out-of-control state. It's an out-of-control state. And if you're exercising right, when you get to the state where you have spent all of your energy and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I can't do it anymore, this has to stop, and then it's time to stop, what happens at the end of these 2 activities is they drop you right back to a level 2. So those are the only 2 activities that actually work really well to take you to a level 2. That's why exercise is really great for managing stress, because it helps you to increase your buffer zone. So what we want to do on a day-to-day basis is pay attention. If you're spending too much time in this losing control state, and like, face it, many of my clients who have to deal with trauma, who are trying to learn how to heal themselves, they live right here. They're constantly in argument, they're constantly trying to figure out how to get out of situations, they're constantly anticipating negative situations, and when that's the case, you're in a losing control state. So, here's the formula. The more often you find yourself here, when you find yourself at a 4, do a level 2 activity to get you back in level 3. Okay? It's that simple. When you notice in your body that you're in an out of control state, find a level 2 activity to do to help you get back into level 3. The ideal is to do enough level 2 activities often enough to increase that buffer zone so your level 3 problem solving buffer zone is really nice and wide. So that when you're in problem solving state, something can come in that causes mild tension, but you've got it because you've been able to manage the stress well enough with these level 2 activities that you can actually take a hit, stay cool, figure it out, and move on without going to a level 4. That's the goal. That's what we want to be able to do. So, in order to implement this, what you have to be able to do is have a regular practice, a daily, sometimes hourly practice of checking in with yourself to ask yourself, where am I? What level am I at right now? So there's this little tool, and the reason I color code this is because I want you to associate level 1 is purple, level 2 is blue, level 3 problem solving where you want to be is green, out of control is 4, losing control is 4, out of control is 5. Because I want you to I made this one out of the markers I have. I don't know if you can see it. This is a Post-it note with level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 color-coded to match this system that I've just given you. So what I want you to do is get some Post-it notes, make them for yourself, color-coded. Nobody has to know what this is. But put it on your bathroom mirror, put it on the dashboard of your car, put it on your refrigerator, put them everywhere that you are regularly finding yourself to remind yourself to check in. What is my stress level? If you find yourself at a 4, find some level 2 activities that you can do. And there's some that you can do right on the spot, including breathing, that will help you get back into a problem-solving state. So with this little training, I'm making a couple of handouts for you. One is I want you to keep a log of where you're at when you're at each one of these stress levels, what your thoughts and feelings are, because the more you get connected with what you think and feel when you're feeling stressed, you'll be able better to identify that pattern and deconstruct it so you can really heal yourself. The second thing that I'm going to do is these recovery state level 2 activities. I'm going to put them in the download below as well so that you have a list at the ready. Look through the list, identify what things would feel like a hug to you, what would feel like nurturing, self-loving, things that you know kind of take you down to a more relaxed state. Have those ready whenever you need them so you can go, okay, wait, what are my level 2 activities? Until these level 2 activities become regular things that are part of your routine. So we want to use level 2 for maintenance, prevention, and crisis management. So look through the list, identify 3 or 4 things that work for you, and start putting them in your life regularly so you can start managing stress instead of it managing you. Thanks for watching. Download. Let's get started. I hope you enjoy. Let me know how it goes.